Thank you very much. My name is Abimbola Elizabeth. I work with the Planned Parenthood Federation of Nigeria. Presently, I serve as the Southwest Regional Coordinator and at the same time working on a project, Integrate E, in Lagos that has to do with family planning provisions among PPMVs and the community pharmacists. Yeah, female genital mutilation, I think that day was set aside to create awareness for people who are still indulging in female genital mutilation. You know, it's a practice that is culturally back or religiously back, but at the same time it has a lot of health hazards, and that is the most important reason why the health sector needs to create awareness continuously to disabuse the heart or to demystify every wrong thoughts and beliefs about female genital mutilation. FGC, that's female genital circumcision. Yeah, this is being carried out just like we have the cutting of the foreskin in the male child. So people try to, carry out the same procedure by cutting parts of the female genital portion. That is usually they cut the prepuce. That is what we have covering the clitoris in the female girl. This is usually carried out at birth or a few weeks after birth. Some carry it out as an adult. The same thing, but they give it different meaning, but all still boils down to the same thing because they have different methods. They carry out some remove total parts of the clitoris, some is just a portion of the clitoris, so it could be partial or it could be complete. However, all leads to a lot of complications for the girl child. Like I said earlier on, this is carried out few weeks after delivery, just like we have circumcision being done like 6 weeks postnatal post delivery in the male child. In the areas where culturally they believe in carrying out female circumcision, they do the same. And some areas in some localities they carry it out even as adults, grown up, like teenagers. It is being carried out for them once they observe this girl is growing before she attains puberty, in the quest to reduce promiscuity. Female genital mutilation is being performed by some traditional healers, or even we have some community health healers, some traditional birth attendants. They carry out this in the girls, but professionally it is not encouraged, and you hardly see a health professional carrying this out. So we have our local traditional healers who are responsible for conducting female genital mutilation and circumcision. Thank you very much. This has a lot of impact on the health of the child. The impact could be psychological, social, and medical. In the medical parts, we find out that girls that had female circumcision done on them, they end up having low libido. At birth, they are subjected to a lot of complications, and this has aggressively increased the rate of maternal mortality in our society. We have a lot of women who have had circumcision done as a girl. We have them encountering what we call postpartum hemorrhage. When they deliver, they bleed a lot, and most of them even they bleed to death. Then in the course of the labor, where they are supposed to have maybe episiotomy for the part, delivery parts, you find out that the canal, before the baby comes out, they have massive laceration, because the scar that you have at the site of the mutilation, just give way, and there is a massive laceration which can lead to uncontrollable bleeding and eventually lead to the death of the woman. Other complications include psychological problem, that they find it difficult to meet with their spouses. Sexual wise, they don't enjoy sex. The rate of their libido is small, and this had led to a lot of breakages in homes, when the couple could no longer enjoy, sexual intercourse as it is expected. Then it also leads to what we call obstructed labor. When a woman is in labor, the labor is excessively delayed because the pathway has what we call scarred tissues. Instead of the normal elastic tissue, it has scars which is no longer elastic, and this can be rigid, which will lead to obstruction of labor, and it might even lead to the death of the fetus or even the death of the mother herself. So this has, brought then inferiority complex in terms of social and psychological effects. When ladies grow up and find out they are circumcised, they find it difficult to mingle with their peers. They see themselves as being odd among the others, and for them, socially, it brings about some withdrawal or stigmatizations. So these are part of the side effects of a genital mutilation in the girl.
Genital mutilation.
Thank you very much. In fact, most of the background, or let me say the background why we engage in this female genital mutilation is because of our cultural belief. We believe because we know that the clitoris, which is the object, the organ of interest in female genital mutilation, is the organ that is responsible, is highly sensitive, and it is one of the organ in the body that stimulates a lady to enjoy sexual acts. So they believe that this organ that makes a lady or a girl to enjoy sexual intercourse, when it is removed or when it is mutilated or cut off, the girl will no longer be sexually active, and she can wait and keep her virginity until when she's ready for marriage. However, these are not the major direction to focus on when you want to prevent promiscuity, or you want to encourage a girl growing up to keep and preserve her piety. There are better ways. There are counseling, there are instruction, there are life building teachings and life negotiation teachings that you can give to these young girls that will make them to enhance their piety and their virginity. But most people make mistake. In our cultural background, we believe that when this vital organ is removed, this girl will no longer be sexually active, hence she will not have any premarital sex, and she can keep her virginity, which we see as pride in our cultural background. So that's the relationship. So in order to enhance this, to keep this virginity, they prefer removing the clitoris in the girl child prior to her marriage in life. Yes, some of the myths and the facts is this. The myths about it is that once you carry out female circumcision for your girl child, that girl is going to remain intact until marriage. But it's a myth. People who doesn't have circumcision done, girls who doesn't have circumcision done, but are trained up and given necessary information about their sexual reproductive health and their rights, they are able to keep themselves. They know what they want to do with their body. They know when to have sex. They know why to have sex, and they know why not to have it. So if you give information, they say information is key and is power. If you give the correct sexual information, sexual education to our children right from childhood, such a child is able to, have control over herself. She's able to know what she wants for herself and to build up herself and work towards it. That is by keeping herself. A girl that is well informed We know when she wants to have sex, why she should have sex, and why she should not have sex. But where you don't educate such a child, you just go ahead and cut. You find out that even with the circumcisions, some of them still involved in sexual acts, some of them are victims of rape and all sorts of hazard. So however, to me, I see it as a myth, not a fact. The fact remains that leave the organ there and preserve her life and refuse to subject her to a lot of dangers, and you find out that she will still keep herself and maintain piety. Thank you. Oh, even in Nigeria it has been banned, because today if you do it in Nigeria is a crime. We have it eradicated in most of our cities. It is still relegated back to the rural areas. Today in Nigeria, it is the highest percentage of female mutilation is being carried out in the south region, followed by southeast, and then we have southwest. In the north today, it has highly reduced, that they don't subject their girls to this cutting any longer. There has been a lot of interventions by partners, by CSOs on sexual reproductive health, making and laying campaign seriously on female genital mutilation. It has been funded, it has been carried out, people have been educated, awareness creation has gone out. It is a crime today for you to circumcise your female child. So those who still carry out today are just carrying it out in secrecy. It's a crime. Thank you. It is a human rights issue because those who carried it out are parents, or at times you see the grandparent, because they are the custodian of culture. They are the custodian of culture, and they don't want this culture to wear out. Most girls that have female genital mutilation carried out, if you interview or research, has proved that most of them, this activity is carried out against their parents' will, against their parents' wish. They don't desire it, they don't want it. But the grandparents, who are custodian of the culture, we insist that they want to have it done to enhance and sustain what they believe in. The same way goes for the innocent girl child. As a child, this is being carried out. The girl child, as at then, could not speak nor decide who does what for who at what time. So they take advantage of this and carry out in most of them. However, by the time the child grows up, that is when the child could speak for herself. Although today it is a right, I stand the right to sexual life as an individual, and same goes for these young girls. They have the right to life, the right to live. They have their own sexual rights as well. So we want to employ parents, because these are still minors that cannot decide on themselves. But at least for the parent who speaks for the minor, we want to encourage parents to stand for their children when the grandparents are trying to carry out their cultural obligations and cultural beliefs on the innocent child girl. In conclusion, my advice will be to the parents, and at the same time to our cultural leaders, our spiritual leaders, and our traditional leaders. We have the pastors to carry out this message to the populace, to the parents, even as well as our traditional leaders. Let them know that this activity prones or subjects our girls to a lot of health hazard, even in the nearest future. That we should not sentence them to death right from childhood. What they come, even some of them dies during the course of the procedure because it's crudely carried out. It's not sterilized. They infect them, they bleed, and some of them die during the course of the procedure. So we want to plead and continually plead for our grandparents, our custodians of cultures and beliefs, to please, let's drop these beliefs that does not help us or take us anywhere. So we need to employ our parents to please have a change in their beliefs, and we need to let them know more of the complications. So when we celebrate this day, it should be a day to blow a lot of trumpets about the adverse effects of the practice. We also need to do this in our schools, among our teachers. Let these children be educated, because we have some of them as teenagers, they are penned down and carry this procedure on them. So I think with this, we can eradicate this, and this will help us to reduce the rate of maternal mortality, the level of childbearing complications in our society. Let's teach it all around. Let's blow the trumpet all around. Let our religious leader preach it in our churches and even in our mosque, so that people will get to know that these children have better future than for us to terminate it in the name of cultural belief. Also, let's give our girls the correct sexual reproductive information, and they will know that they have a future, and they will have a better grip of their sexual life than for us to subject them to untimely death.